Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Welcome to Mino Mishkiki Wobble Blackwater Medicine Podcast. Mino. Good. Life is good. Mel and the Dishnakaz. Mako and Dodum. And known as the Bear Man in the spirit world. Welcome to today's podcast. It's a little bit different. Am I going on vacation? I could be going on vacation. I always think I'm going on vacation, but realistically, I'm not going anywhere. It's just how it is. So today's beautiful little podcast is about refreshments and stuff like that. I'm not talking about drinking. I'm not talking about tropical drinks. I'm talking about the fact that what do you do in your daily life to take your own mini vacations? That's what this podcast is about. Your own mini vacations. And it's actually more or less about mental health, really. That's just what it is. Now, I'm not a mental health expert. I don't have any credentials for that, but I just want to show you what works for me and how I get away with everything. that's how I like to think of it. And as always, before I begin, I shall do my little daily smudging, because, that's just one of the things that I do. So let me speak in a good way. Let us listen in a good way. Let the spirits all be here. It always begins with the matches. And I said before, every great ceremony always begins with the matches. And of course, that's why it's always something to do. There we go. There we go. Sorry, it's a little late today. I didn't have a chance to do it yesterday for my regular Saturdays podcast because I just wasn't it was just awful yesterday. Mm. Mm. Yeah, yesterday was really bad. It was just lots of it was just snowing out. I'm snowing out. It was raining out all day yesterday. It was just one of those days. It was just really wasn't really good, and I thought pretty interesting how weather changes people's moods and stuff like that. It just changes everybody's day. So, first, let's talk about the gray skies in our area. Wow, that's wow, good. That's what it is. Mm. This is just think of it as starting your airplane, going on your vacation. Yeah. As I said before, right? Gray clouds. What are the gray clouds in your own world, right? So we get up in the morning, we go to work. We do our 9 to 5, whatever it is we do, or what if you're not working, whatever it is you do, right? And so we do our grind, we do our day. We go out there and we do our thing, and it's a matter of time for us to really kind of look at how we tackle things, Now this is my most favorite summer shirt. I've had this shirt for such a long time. I love this shirt. This is absolutely my favorite shirt, and I will wear it until my grave happens. But quite honestly, I think with the way how we are in this world, when we go out there and we do our day, we have a lot on our plate. We have a lot of things that we deal with. I mean, some of us has children, some of us has a profession, travel, whatever it is, whatever it takes, right? And so we going out there, and we are basically trying to live the life that we're supposed to be living. And so, anyways, we're traveling, we're doing things, right? But at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to get to. What do you do for the end of your day, right? What do you do to give yourself a little peace of mind for things? And so when I started thinking about my podcast about refreshments and stuff, like, what do I do to relax and how do I do these things? I do a lot of things, quite honestly. This is what works for me. Um, I'm pretty busy with everything, so I get a chance to do a lot of crafting, a lot of making things. I'm pretty good at that. I make a lot of cultural items, and I do a lot of research, and I do a lot of readings, stuff like that. Reading too is a big thing. Um, and on top of that, I game out. I video game, and usually that's pretty much majority of it, really, because I do a lot of these events things that seem to happen. And I was just looking to make sure my soup isn't overboiling because I'm making my lunch. Excuse me. I just try to make uh my day as easy as I can, because quite honestly, when I'm coming home, um, I take the dog out for his usually night walk, or his bathroom break, and then I sit on the computer for about another hour, and then I finally go to bed about 1:30 after I get up around 6 a.m. And so it's from 6 a.m. on down to almost 1:30 at night. That's my whole day. Unless I take a power nap, which I try to do, and depends what shift I'm working. Now, since I work nights, I usually sleep all day, and then I get up and I do my thing, right? Um, and so it's just a matter of me balancing all my recreation stuff, no matter what it is. And even this podcasting, I was trying to set aside for a time and day for this. I do a pre-show on Tuesday. I do the recording on Wednesday. I send it off on actually just after I'm done, and then after that, let's do a pre. I do a lock on when time I'm going to release. So Saturdays is what it is. But during the week, though, that's just how it is. That's just what I do, and that's what works for me. But people out there, try to make things like, how do you make things work for yourself? Like, you guys go visit friends? I mean, I don't know if anybody actually visits anybody anymore, because I don't really see anybody anymore, because I just never do anything. And that's just visiting friends, hanging out, going for coffee, making making visits, visit the kids, visit the grandkids. So we do various forms of mini vacations, or mental health vacations, as I call them, and that's just what it is. That's the secret to all of our lives. Is just basically just try to um live our daily grind. That's why, quite realistically, whenever I think about like what I do, and I look around what other people do, um, try to escape whatever it is we're going to try and escape from. And I always try to like encourage people to like take as many of those as you can, because sometimes things just add up. It really does. It adds up, and you just don't want everything adding up. And so um sounds like an airplane. Oh yeah. Yeah, just that's my brain, the airplane mode here, cuz it's something. And yeah, you know what? I'm in the works right now to try and figure out how to do this on mobile, like try to go out there and interview people. So hopefully my camera systems will work out. Hopefully I get the right things for this, because I want to make things work, you know. Um and see how it is. Just just as part of my expansion of this. I love to make, or I would actually love to get T-shirts done. Someone who actually walk around with this Black Medicine Podcast logo on the thing, walk around being all cool, like, hey, look at me, yeah, because hey, it could happen. It really could happen. Dreams do come true, and maybe get some coffee mugs. Yeah, I'm thinking merchandising. Yeah, thinking expansion. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, that's just one of the things that you want to think about when you're doing these things. Of course, everybody goes out there, and those who can afford these vacations actually take real vacations. They're going to someplace that is very tropical. I'll tell you a funny story though. I'll tell you a really funny story. So I met a guy, sometime years ago. He was a guy who was traveling, and it's kind of funny how I think about this story, because this guy was sitting there. Oh, he's from Barbados, I think, or something like that. And he says, "Oh, I love Canada. Canada's such a beautiful country. I like it here." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's nice." And and he says to me, "So, what do you do?" And I said, "I was working in retail at the time." I said, "Oh, I work in retail. I'm just going to work." And he says to me, he's like, I don't like my job. Oh, we start talking about work, right? So he says he hates his job. And the funny thing about this, that he works in a resort, and all day long he makes mojitos, drinks. Can you imagine you're working in a resort and you're making tropical drinks for people all day long? He's a bartender, right? So he's making talk about all these different drinks he makes, but he hates his job. And I'm like, are you kidding? How people would love to get a job like that, being a bar guy in a tropical resort? He says, after a while, a job's a job, man. A job's a job, man. That's just different, he would say. I try to copycat his accent. It just doesn't work for me. But he regretted going to work because, and of all things, tourist. I thought that was really interesting when he said tourist, because I'm like, what do you mean by tourist? Like, he talked about his Australian example, where some people from Australia was very picky about their drinks, and he had to make this drink 3 times until they finally got it right. And he said it was just awful. And I said, you know what? We got the same thing here. We got retail, you got those customers come in, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like, that is pretty incredible to think that some guy out there is making tropical drinks and he hates his job. Like, wow. Wow. Yeah, what do you do to release all that type of feeling within you? I mean, we live in a technology age, so we're always communicating with people, but quite honestly, not too many people do that. Just the other day, I sent a message to a friend of mine. I haven't seen her for a long time, and I said hello, and I miss this person. I love you, man. And she messaged me back, and I quite honestly think to myself, I really got to hang out with her more often, because I just don't see her as much anymore. But that's just how I am. I'm a very, very people conscious person. I'm making sure that my soup doesn't overflow. That's what I'm trying to do. Sorry about that. And so, yeah, that's just some of the things. Anyways, yeah. As for visiting people, I'm a social butterfly for that way, and I just enjoy meeting people and so on. So, I just think I just hope people out there take the time for themselves to rejuvenate their inner person, because sometimes we take in way too much more than we need to. We don't need to necessarily carry all that stuff within us, but we do. And it's just way how it is. I just wish it was so different. And yeah, this is not going to be very much of a big podcast, because I'm planning on doing maybe some mobile stuff. So I'm going to be traveling with my camera, maybe in the future. I would love to do interviews. I think I want to do an interview section pretty soon. So I'm trying to set up this thing where, I'll have people coming in here and we'll talk about stuff. And I'm thinking about that right now. That's the future of this little podcast of doing things, and going mobile, because that's what it is. Check it out, because summertime's around here, and that's why I'm wearing my beautiful shirt, because I want to film as much as I can out there. and just see everything, because not everybody actually has a lot of stuff that happens during the summertime. You know, we got events, we got places to do, we got always some sort of thing that's happening. I mean, my cups are getting a lot bigger now. The pot. Mm. And as always, I might want to think of doing, maybe, if I am lucky, and I'm hoping, I would cross my fingers, hope to die, sticking it in my eye, is to interview some famous celebrity. Be my first famous celebrity. I'm trying to figure that out, because I'm trying to figure out how to do the 2 video picture thing, because it would have to change the dynamics. That's why Black on Medicine podcast is going to go, maybe, the entertainment biz. You know, I just thinking about that right now, because yeah, that's the expansion of the franchise. It's just ridiculous. I'm so ridiculous. Anyway, so what do you do? And I'm going to say this quite honestly. Take those few moments in your time to really say to yourself, I need a vacation. I need to take some time off for myself, to do things for myself, my own healing, my own wellness, no matter what it is. You know, find something that will make things work for you. Get into a class. There's country line dancing. I heard that's happening in the city. That's quite popular now, country line dancing. We have the music festivals that are happening coming up. And yeah, so you find these little events, and you know, vacation. You know, don't take it all in. It's also good if you're going to work and you have really good coworkers with you. So that helps out quite a bit. So I think props to all those coworkers there who make the job a lot easier, because they are the people that make who we are. You know, that's just how it is. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for today. I'm sorry this is not very much of a long podcast. I want to make it a lot longer, but I'm making sure my soup does not go overflow. So anyways, I'm going to make it a lot longer next time. So I appreciate your time right now. And if anybody has any suggestions, by all means, Facebook me. You guys have my socials on there. And I'd love to do more. So I will see you again. Bamape.